We're here with Senate Majority Leader John Thune. Senator, really want to thank you for hosting us here in the U.S. Capitol. Really exciting time here after President Trump's 100 days in office here. You guys have been very busy. It is a new era in the United States Senate. You guys have voted more in the first 100 days of you guys being in the majority here in the U.S. Senate, which goes back a little bit earlier than President Trump, than any Senate dating back to Ronald Reagan being in the White House. Talk to us a little bit about this new era that we're seeing in the U.S. Senate.
Right. Well, we're working. Yeah. And that's a departure from what we've been the last 4 years under Schumer. And obviously, Matt, the goal is to confirm the president's team as quickly as possible. And we did that with his cabinet, fastest rate in more than 20 years. We've had the Senate in session for 10 consecutive weeks for the first time in 15 years. And as you point out, we hit 200 votes, and that by far dwarfs anything we've seen going back to Reagan. So, and I always tell people that in Washington you can't always equate being busy and activity with productivity. There's sometimes a difference, but we're, as you point out, have the Democrats are trying to block and obstruct and delay anything that we do, but we want the president's team in place and we want to move on his agenda. And I think we made good headway on that. We've gotten some bills passed already. We'll pass more. But the big, beautiful bill that he talks about and that we're working closely with his team and with Speaker Johnson in the House on is still ahead of us. And that's going to be some work, but it's if we can deliver on that, and we have to deliver on that, there's just a lot of good stuff in there to get done for the country.
So I want to get into a whole bunch of different things, but given that you brought up the confirmation of the president's nominees, you guys confirmed the president's cabinet faster than any president's cabinet has been confirmed in the past 20 years.
Right.
Talk to us about how you guys did this, how you got it done, what obstacles you faced with Democrat obstruction, because they've dragged it out in some cases, some of them for weeks on end, but you guys got there, you got it done. Walk us through how you did it.
Well, and basically what we told the Democrats, Matt, is we knew this the hard way or the easy way. In many cases, they've insisted we do it the hard way, but there are ways that the minority can put obstacles in the way and slow things down, which they've done at every turn. But in spite of that, we've kept people here. We've been here nights. We've been here some weekends, and we've just kind of keep grinding away and keep filling the pipeline with more noms. And so we're ahead on ambassadors too. For example, we've confirmed 10 of the president's ambassadors, and that's. You look at going back to Bush 41, I think he had the most, maybe at 4, and Obama had a couple, and Biden had 1. So we're staying ahead of the pace, but bear in mind that there's a lot to do. And there are a number of not only you look at the number of executive branch positions that come through the Senate for confirmation. You add on top of that all the judges, and the president now is just starting to submit some of the judiciary and vacancies that we need to fill. So the Senate spends about 2/3 of its time on personnel. I mean, that is part of our function and job, and so we take it very seriously, and then we've got to figure out how to wedge legislation in there in between.
Right, so this week you guys confirmed your former colleague, Senator Perdue, as now the U.S. ambassador to China. And from what I understand, the plan here is over the next month or so, you guys are going to really put the shoulder to the wheel here, nose to the grindstone on ambassador nominees. I mean, I was just in Greece. I talked to the Prime Minister of Greece and several other top officials there and cultural leaders like the Archbishop of the Orthodox Church in Athens. They're excited. They're very excited to see Kimberly Guilfoyle coming over. Your thoughts as we are going about the process of getting these nominees for ambassadors confirmed? I saw several of them last night. Your thoughts as we go forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're all important, but there are certain posts in the world, and you mentioned just, having been in Greece, and Kimberly Guilfoyle has been nominated for that position, and as soon as she comes out of the Foreign Relations Committee, obviously you want to get her teed up for confirmation on the Senate floor too. But yeah, this week, we did Turkey, we did the UK, we did China, and we did Italy. All important posts, and especially now with everything going on with China, getting David Perdue installed there. Warren Stevens is going to the UK. The President's nominated some terrific people for these positions, and we need to make sure we get them there as quickly as we can. And again, it's a process of just grinding it out, and the Democrats are making every part of this much harder than it should be. I mean, even the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who ultimately got confirmed by a big lopsided vote in the Senate, came out of the Senate Armed Services Committee by a vote of 23-4, but Elizabeth Warren decided she was going to filibuster the nomination on the floor, and so she drug it out. We ended up having to have those votes in the middle of the night, but eventually we're going to get them, and the Democrats can, they can kick and scream and light their hair on fire, but it's not going to change anything. We're just going to keep wearing it down.